Hey everybody, welcome to another Cricut craft tutorial. Today we are going to learn how to use some images from Cricut Design Space to make a mermaid scale heart that's going to go on a fun tumbler. So first thing we're going to do is start with a blank canvas. I'm going to apologize, I have an iron heating in the background, so it's probably going to beep at some point. But first thing we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and start with shapes. And we're just going to choose a heart. And I'm going to go ahead and make my heart a little bit bigger so we can see it. Now, I want the mermaid scales in my heart. And Cricut Access has a really great scale that you can use. So all you need to do is go into your images. And I'll go ahead and get out of that so you guys can see. We'll just search nothing. So this is what you'll start with, just this screen. You're going to go ahead and just type in scales and click search. Now they've got two options of the mermaid scales. This one, which is 99 cents, or this one, which is free. So we're going to use the free one, and we're going to go ahead and insert the image. And you'll see it's not quite big enough to cover our entire heart. So what I want to do is I'm going to actually unlock the shape by clicking in the lower left-hand corner, the little lock button. And I'm just going to kind of pull it and stretch it and see where I like my scales so that it is going to cover the whole heart. And this is a personal preference depending on if you want skinny scales or fat scales, just whatever you like. And I'm actually going to pull this up just a little bit because I don't want to cut the tops off with the border. Now that we have our scales set, all you need to do, and actually I think I'm going to center them a little bit better. Okay, so all you need to do is draw the box around both the scales and the heart and click slice. What that's going to do is cut the scales into our heart. So the first thing we're going to do is get rid of this. We don't need this piece, and we don't need this big outside box. We can delete anything that we don't want cut, and then we're going to go ahead and get rid of this middle section because we don't want that cut either. So now we have our mermaid scale heart. The next thing I want to do is I'm going to put in a text box, and I'm just going to do the word mermaid. So mermaid. And I'm going to move it up so you guys can see it better. And mine is going to say mermaid at heart. So I kind of want this in like a swirly fun font. So I'm going to go to my system fonts because I don't have Cricut Access. And I'm going to find, I have one that's called Unicorn Calligraphy that might look kind of cool. So let's check out Unicorn Calligraphy and see how that looks. I don't know if I love that one. I want to see how a couple of them look. I'm just going to look up a couple that I know, like watermelon. I actually kind of think watermelon's kind of neat. But you can kind of just play with what you have. And as you go, you'll start learning the names of your fonts. So like I know I have one called Bromello. I don't really like that one. If you don't know the names of your fonts, you can just scroll right through. And as you select each font, it will change your font so you can see what it looks like. I know that I have Magnolia Sky, which is really super popular. Oh, and that is a winner. I like that. Looks really good. So we're going to go ahead and use Magnolia Sky. And what we're going to do is we're going to change our letter spacing because I want it to look like the letters are all touching. Oops, I didn't want to do that. So we're going to go up here to letter space and just hit the down arrow a couple of times. And sometimes I just hit it once or twice and then let it kind of load because if you don't, sometimes it doesn't. The letters are a little bit slow to touch. I think I'm going to go maybe one more click. Maybe one more. Okay, I like how that looks, so we're going to move that over here so you guys can see it. So there is our mermaid. The next thing that we need to do is I want to make sure that all these letters are going to cut as one piece. So I'm going to select the whole word, and I'm going to come down here and click weld. What that's going to do is it takes out any of the cut lines so that you can cut just your mermaid by itself. I'm going to move the heart down a little bit because I'm going to put at right here. So we're going to go ahead and do another text box, and we're just going to type in the word at. I think I want to do this in a plain font just because I kind of like mermaid in a fancy font. So I'm just going to probably use something that came with the computer. Just whatever looks kind of plain and simple. Maybe something like this. Yeah, something just like that. I'm going to letter space this too because I don't like how big the space is since all those letters are touching. So we're going to go ahead and make these a little bit closer. They don't have to touch. And I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. And I think that's pretty good. Now, I don't really want it to be so perfectly straight. So to change the angle of your words, you just use this little circle arrow in the upper right hand corner, and you can just kind of turn it and move it as you wish. I'm going to do my mermaid in like a pink, I think, and my at in purple. And then I'm going to go ahead and do my heart in like a holographic. So I can change those colors, and you're going to need to make sure you have different colors selected as your words if you're going to cut them in 2 different colors. So I said I want to do my mermaid in a pink. I'm going to do the at in a purple. And to change your color, just a reminder, is all you have to do is come over to the side here where there's the little colored dots, click it, and pick your color. I'm going to use a holographic down here. I don't really need to change the color of it, but I will just so I can kind of get a better look. And I think that's going to look really, really good. So the next thing that you have to do is measure your tumbler. So I'm going to grab my tumbler and figure out what size we're going to use on it. So basically what I do is I take my tumbler and I kind of look at how much space I can see on it and base my sizing off of how much space I can see. Mine's just a dollar store tumbler. I literally paid $1. I've got about 3 1/4 inches where I can see the whole logo and design. So what we're going to do is we're going to select the entire design and we're going to size it to what we want it to be. Now this one's much taller than it is longer. There's my iron beeping. So I know that I've got about 3 1/4. So I'm going to go like 3 1/4. Like right there is probably good. But I want to double check that the 4 inches that this whole thing is going to fit, and it should. This is a pretty tall tumbler. Yes, it will fit just fine. So the next thing you want to do is, because I want these to make sure that they're going to print correctly, I'm going to hit make it and just double check everything before I click go. So I just always like to look at it, make sure it's going to do it. The mermaid is fine that it's going to print at this straight line. It's going to save you more vinyl. But if you prefer it to print already angled, you can move it on your mat. So I'll show you how to do that really quick. If you prefer it to print angled already, just move it away from the edge a little bit. And just like you do in your canvas, it has the little arrow, and you can just turn it. And it'll print it however you want it to. I'm going to leave it straight just because I will angle it later. And you can move your stuff on your mat. So if you're using like a piece of scrap, which I will probably use a couple scrap pieces for this, especially for like the at and the mermaid since they're really small. And then we'll use holographic for here. I will get the mats all set up and we'll show you it cutting, and then we'll have a really fun tumbler. Alright guys, I'm going to actually also show you how to cut this on one single mat. Because it's such small pieces, you can easily cut this on a single mat. So what you do is you lay your vinyl down, and I will show you that. And then you put you move your mats to where your vinyl is. So my mermaid's going to stay right there because my vinyl is right there. The one that I have to move is the at, because my purple is going to be over in this corner. And you can use your grid lines on your mat to match up your grid lines here, and you just put it kind of where your vinyl is. And then what I'm going to do with this one is I put this actually on the opposite side of the mat, and I'm just going to turn the mat over. I will show you that here, how I have the mat set up, and then we can get started and ready to cut. Alright, so this is how we have our mat set up. Pink and purple, and then the holographic. Cricut wants us to start with the holographic, so we're going to make sure we put that in first. And we're just going to go ahead and hit the load button as soon as it lets us. And click load. And then we're going to click the Cricut button for it to go and start cutting. Oh, except we're not. Hold on. Huh. One thing I forgot. And see, and I do this, and I know a lot of people do. what we're going to do is we're going to cancel this cut because I forgot to put this on custom for the holographic vinyl. I'll take you over to the screen and show you. So I selected custom, and hopefully you guys can see this. It's kind of hard to see, I know. But you'll see that it gives you options to choose from, and holographic isn't on my option list, so I'm going to go to view all, categories, and I'm going to go ahead and pick vinyl, and I'm going to find the holographic vinyl. And this is just regular holographic, it's not holographic sparkle. So we're going to do that. We're going to go ahead and click done. Now we can start our cut. Ooh, glad I caught that. I have done that more times than I can count. So okay, we're going to go ahead and try this one more time. And I'll show you when we finish cutting the holographic, we are going to have to turn the dial back to regular vinyl. Not a big deal to do. It happens. I'm glad I caught it before we started cutting because ooh, what a mess that would have been. So it's going to cut out each individual scale on the heart. I will go ahead and let you guys see this cutting, and then we'll move on to the next. Okay, we are ready to unload from our holographic vinyl, so we're going to click unload, and I don't know how well you can see it, but it did cut that. Now what we need to do, I'm going to turn you a little bit so you can see, is take our dial and turn it back to the vinyl. On mine, I have a little heart and it faces the right way if it's on vinyl because that's the one I use the most. This one, it's going to cut our purple, so it's going to go all the way over here to cut the purple. So we'll go ahead and load our mat. We're going to hit go, and it'll cut all the way over here for purple. And that's just going to cut out the word at. So that'll take just no time at all. It's going to want us to unload our mat. We will do that. We will reload our mat as soon as it asks. Okay. Apparently my screen seems to think my machine is not connected. Sometimes you can mess with it and just hit move your dial around a little bit, but mine apparently doesn't want to do that. I'm going to go ahead and cancel the cut really quick, and what I'm just going to do is I'll have it cut the pink only this time, and I'll show you guys. I'll move you over here. It's kind of a pain. This one's just being a butt, but this will show you some of the problems you guys will have. So we're back to our screen, and we're going to click make it, but we only needed to cut the pink, so just click on your pink mat and hit continue, because it'll only cut your pink, and then you can just cancel the cut after that. So now it knows that I need my pink cut. This happens sometimes. It's just... it is what it is. I don't know why it does it. Design Space has its moments. So we're just going to hit go, and it's going to cut out the word mermaid. I wish I had an answer for why Design Space has its, slight moments. But there's quick fixes around it. A lot of times you just cancel your cut and go back and cut again. It's not the end of the world. So I'm going to go ahead and get these weeded and transfer tape, and then I will show you applying. Alright, we are ready to apply. So the first thing that I'm always going to do is I'm going to use rubbing alcohol on just a rag or like an old towel. You can use paper towels too. And I'm just going to wipe the whole item down. Just keep wiping it until you get all the way around it. And you're going to let that dry for a minute. Alcohol dries really quick, so it shouldn't take more than a minute. I've already put my transfer tape on my products. So here's my heart. And then the mermaid at. The holographic vinyl is, I'm not even going to lie, a pain with contact paper, but I don't have any Cricut brand. But if you look, it's probably not going to peel. This is going to be a royal pain, so I'm going to save this piece for last, and I will probably have to do it off camera, because I don't think you guys want to stare at me individually peeling every scale. But I'll show you a couple seconds of it so you guys can see it peeling. But we're just going to check the dryness, and we're dry. So you just pick wherever you want to put it. Luckily on these tumblers, it doesn't really matter because they're the same on all sides. Again, just got this at the Dollar Tree for a whole $1. So you're going to just peel off your backing from your design. And that's all you got to do on this part. And we're just going to do that. Now I got a dog hair in it. I don't know about you guys, but when you have pets, man, their hair gets everywhere. Okay. Just make sure that the pet hair isn't under your vinyl. So you're just going to pick wherever you want to put it. And like I said, I'm going to do mine at kind of an angle. So I'm going to, not quite there, I'm going to stick it at kind of an angle. It didn't really quite angle as much as I would have liked, but that's okay. And you're just going to press it down with your finger. The nice thing is with this plastic, it sticks really well. The vinyl does, so this won't be something you're going to have to press like crazy, especially after you've cleaned it. So we're just going to press it a little bit and make sure you get the little tails on your letters and your dots for your eye, because if you don't, sometimes those will want to stick to the transfer paper. So we're going to go ahead and just peel it, and hopefully with any luck it will have stuck really nicely. And look at that. Like I said, it sticks. It really likes to stick to these tumblers, which is really nice. It makes this a lot less frustrating. So I'm going to go ahead and move you guys down a little bit so you can see what I'm going to do with this holographic. So I showed you it didn't want to stick to the contact paper. I'm going to try one more time just rubbing and seeing if maybe by some miracle it will stick, but I really doubt it. This is really good when you use the Cricut brand. It does stick better, but see, it won't. So what you're going to have to do if you don't have Cricut brand is fold your backing and just with your finger and your nail, just peel each individual piece. And some of them do stick. It's just a matter of which ones decide they want to. Oh, shoot. And see, and this is why I don't really... I'm tempted to not use this holographic vinyl because this stuff is just evil. So we're going to just keep peeling. I might look and see if I have a piece of the Cricut brand transfer tape. I might recut this. But again, I'm not going to make you guys watch this while I attempt to fight with this. So I will be back. Okay, I finally got it to stick. But let me tell you, don't touch the back of the vinyl because it will stick to your fingers. So here's our heart, and we're going to go ahead and just line it up best we can with our mermaid. I'm going to lay it down just for a second. And it is spinny as heck. And we're going to just line it. Oops, and maybe not right there. I did lose a teeny tiny piece of the scales, but nobody will notice. This is just for a door prize for a charity thing. So the little tiny piece of scale missing isn't the end of the world. If I was selling this to someone, I would have corrected the issue. So this is going to stick really well to your tumbler as well, so that you won't really have to worry about rubbing it too much. But always make sure you do rub it just so that you can make sure all your scales stick. We're going to peel her back off, and like I said, this should stick beautifully to your tumbler, except apparently that little itty bitty piece right there. You still want to make sure that you are peeling slowly, just so that if you do have a little piece like that one that didn't stick very well, you can just make sure you place it back down and re-stick. You just want to go kind of slow, make sure all the scales have stuck, and there's this itty bitty one right here that I'm worried about. Nope, it's going to stay. So there you go. You have a holographic tumbler. Now, I did use Cricut brand. This is not permanent, and I will note that on the instructions that they need to be very, very careful with this. Do not soak it in water. Don't wash the outside, things like that. But this is a really fun, easy craft that you guys can do using Cricut Access. As you can see, the only thing I used that wasn't included in my computer was this font. And you can download all those fun fonts at dafont.com, 1001fonts.com. You can find a lot on Pinterest, on Google. Lots of options. If you guys want, please subscribe to my channel. I put out new videos all the time. I'm always taking requests for tutorials, so if you want to see something, please put it in the comments below. Make sure you click the bell icon. That will notify you anytime I post a new video. And I hope you guys have a great day.